Good afternoon. I'm Su Sun. We'll talk about the political aesthetic of Hangul today. This painting in Craftsman Art Center, I have a privilege to exhibit this piece titled Han. Today, I have an honor to share with you the story of this work through the political aesthetic of Hangul. In this piece, I am expressing my hybrid identity, Korean American. By hybridity, I mean that these two identities are not the competition, that they are without boundaries, that they both are my full identity at the same time. My Korean heritage is expressed first in the thick black lines I used to draw the mountains. This is iconic mountain drawing by Kim Hong-do, a famous Korean artist. Kim Hong-do was a painter in the Joseon period of Korea in the 1700s. He was a full-time painter, very rare in those days and today. We see the same thick calligraphy style like a black straw. These mountains do not have the same cliff. It undulated like a wave of oceans. This mountain range is inspired by the Appalachian Mountain of America. Here we go, Appalachian Mountain. Zoom in, and you will see that these mountains are constructed with Korean language. This is the second way I am expressing my Korean heritage. This is less obvious, but more fundamental expression of my Korean heritage and identity. Korean letters are the mountainside, symbolize how language creates the physical human world. Well, human being, physical reality is always a social reality. Mountains are never just a physical reality. They come to us with social meaning. When we say mountain, we are not all referring to the same singular physical mountain. We all have a different mountains in mind, and with those diverse mental representation comes associative emotions and symbolism. To say physical reality is a social reality, we also mean it's political reality. Political reality meaning it's about negotiation of power. Now the words in letters are formed. The mountain are not random Korean words. They are printed through 훈민정음, an important historical document. Korean language is my native language. It is fundamental. English is in many ways can stand on Korean language. Often an English word gets translated into a Korean word before that word gets me too in the meaning. But the Korean language brings me into direct contact with the meaning, such that most of the time, I am not even aware of the word itself, but just the meaning. But language itself is not the meaning. Language is abstraction. The very fact that we can use a multiple language to speak about the same thing tells us the language doesn't have some objective relation to the reality, which brings us to 훈민정음. This is the 훈민정음. It is the first document of a promote the new writing system called it Hangul, the Korean writing system. Before Hangul, the spoken Korean language was put into writing through the Chinese character. Korean words represented through Chinese character are called it Hanja. As Korean is grammatically different from the Chinese, writing Korean using Hanja was a complex task. As a result, only the elite people in Korea were literate. You needed money and time to learn how to read Hanja. Hangul is a unique writing system because it was created by the single administration King Sejong. It was political action. Was writing system evolved, it is through the century of development and the accidents that the alphabet system is adopted. So we cannot usually point to birth date, for the most of the world writing system. Hangul has a birth date in Korea, October 9th, the national holiday celebrating the creation of Hangul. While October 9th is an exact day, Korea can point to the exact year in 1443, King Sejong mandated the creation of the new, simpler,
been key in building a first-rate, high-quality, inclusive higher education. And MOUs like the one that we're talking about here are designed to do that. They're
Okay, keep
designed.
going.
Someone's talking.
Somebody talking. All right, I'll keep going. Simpler and minimalistic. Korean writing system, it was finished in 1443. Oh, it created a new writing system. King Sejong accomplished two things. First, he created a strong sense of Korea's own identity, using Chinese character to the sound of Korean words, affected Korea's self-consciousness. Seeing itself as independence and big brother, China as a larger culture. After all, didn't the Korean language need a more cultured Chinese letter to have a visual representation? By giving Korean its own writing system, it was giving an independent self-consciousness as ability for the Korea to see themselves as Korean. Secondly, he narrowed the gap between the classes in Korea. He wanted to make a reading simple enough to anyone in the street can quickly learn. To read can be literate. To be literate means you had access. Many elite opposite Hangul, they liked the gap. So despite of all Hangul benefits, it nearly went out of extents during the Joseon dynasty. In the early 16th century, elites closed education center that taught Hangul. All language is political act because language or literacy is about access. And Hangul was a political act of independence and equity. When written language is also aesthetic because it is a visual representation of sound. Historically, most alphabets started as a depiction, moving slowly from the picture to abstract shape. We still have this understanding of aesthetic of our letter in our practice of calligraphy. The letters aren't just a sign, but they are drawing. King Sejong started with a blank canvas, like a painter, unhampered by the inherited alphabet. He created letter drawings that were logical, simple, and concise. If I were to describe the aesthetic of Korean letter in art history, it would be minimalism, using simple shape to the point only to sound. Hangul is a minimalist visualization of the spoken language. Hangul is the easiest language to learn to read. A popular saying about the Hangul goes, a wise man can acquaint himself with them before the morning is over. Even a stupid man can learn them in the space of 10 days. You can really learn to read the Korean letter in a few days. Of course, understanding meaning is a different matter. These are the three pieces series I'm working on now. In Han, I had a strip of document in this series. I focus Korean character themselves, giving attention not to what the language is used to say, but the character themselves. I played with them to let the letter return to artistic play by breaking the letter free form. It's a functional usage. In this series, I point to the continuity between the language and art as human communication and connection, as a way to explore the world and oneself. Hangul is an aesthetic work, a work of art, which had continued to have a political implication. It impacts the power dynamics and self-consciousness because it is a beautiful, simple writing system. Thank you, everyone.